Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Highness Said Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Said discusses enhancing cooperation between the Sultanate and Italy when he received Her Excellency, the Italian Minister of Defense. The Sultanate, before the International Atomic Energy Agency, stresses on its support for limiting the use of atomic energy to peaceful purposes. The Sultanate finances the deficit in the state's general budget until the end of July 2016 through a number of procedures. And the Sultanate studies the project of launching a special telecommunication satellite. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Highness Said Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, received today Her Excellency Roberta Pinotti, Minister of Defense of Italy, and her delegation. Her Excellency conveyed greetings and good wishes from His Excellency President Sergio Mattarella of Italy and His Excellency Matteo Renzi, Italian Prime Minister, to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. Then His Highness reviewed the relations and the positive progress between the two friendly countries. Her Excellency expressed her country's comfort to the distinctive cooperation with the Sultanate in all arenas. The meeting also touched upon horizons of future cooperation between the Sultanate and Italy, in addition to reviewing the current situation on the regional and international arenas, as well as matters of mutual concern. Her Excellency further expressed her appreciation for this visit, which allowed them to acquaint with the Sultanate's progress in many fields under the leadership of His Majesty the Sultan. Stressing on the importance of the talks she held with officials at the Ministry of Defense, which comes within the framework of strengthening bilateral bonds, serving the interests of the two nations. Reviewing the good relations and the existing military cooperation between the Sultanate and Italy topped discussions at the session held between His Excellency Syed Badr bin Saud bin Harib Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, and Her Excellency Roberta Pinotti, Minister of Defense of Italy. The two sides emphasized their keenness to upgrade the cooperation in order to serve the interests of the two countries in the military fields. Her Excellency Roberta Pinotti, Minister of Defense of Italy, and her delegation currently visiting the Sultanate toured the Sultan's Armed Forces SAF Museum today. Brigadier Saud bin Khalifa Al-Hatmi, head of the military protocols and public relations, led them to various sections of the museum. The guests viewed the historic stages of the Omani civilization, its role in different fields, historic manuscripts and models, as well as the Omani architecture in the Beit al-Falaj castle. She was also briefed on the progress enjoyed by SAF during the prosperous reign of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. At the end of the visit, the guest signed the visitor's book, expressing her delight to view the ancient Omani heritage and history, as well as landmarks of progress and growth in the Sultanate. The conference of the International Atomic Energy Agency, held in the Austrian capital Vienna, acquires a vital importance this year as it coincides with the agency's celebrations of the 60th anniversary of its establishment. His Excellency Badr bin Mohammed Al Hinai, Sultanate's ambassador to Austria and its permanent envoy to the agency, emphasized in the speech he delivered at the works of the annual conference the Sultanate's support for the goals of the agency in limiting the use of atomic energy to peaceful purposes. He also emphasized on the importance of the technical cooperation program as one of the pillars of the agency's mission in order to build up the national capabilities of the developing countries. Earlier, he met with Director General of the agency, Yukio Amano, where they discussed means of boosting technical cooperation between the two sides, so as the Sultanate benefits from atomic energy for the purposes of development and scientific research. As the state's general budget recorded a financial deficit exceeding 4 billion Omani riyal, the government was able, through a number of procedures, to finance the deficit and achieve a positive surplus. Data published by the monthly bulletin of the National Center for Statistics and Information pointed out that the government collected an amount of more than 4.8 billion Omani riyal through the first 7 months of the current year, in order to cover the deficit estimated at 4 billion Omani riyal, recording a surplus of around 800 million Omani riyal. Regarding means of financing, statistics indicated that the government was able to accumulate the amount through drawing 1.5 billion riyal from the state's general reserve, as well as obtaining a net loan of 2.8 billion riyal and a domestic loan of around 400 million Omani riyal, besides the 100 million Omani riyal in aids. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Futaizi, Minister of Transport and Communications, said in a statement to Al Watan newspaper that the Sultanate studies the project of launching a special telecommunications satellite. He delayed announcing details of implementing and financing this strategic project after the completion of studies and until the vision is clear on the mechanism of its implementation, indicating that the Sultanate is currently studying the mechanism of establishing a holding company in the field of telecommunication and information technology. Still to come in our news bulletin, the Ministry of Endowment and Religious Affairs marked the Hijra anniversary of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, by highlighting the importance of the occasion in the Islamic history. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Within the Sultanate's plans to boost the role of the private sector in the economic development and investment in the projects targeted by the 9th five-year plan, SpaceX Oman Company and Power Namran Company agreed on a partnership in producing castor oil from oil wastewater. The agreement states that SpaceX factory currently being built in the special economic zone at Duqm shall utilize the oil produced from the water treatment plant in Namru area in Al-Wusta, within the framework of the role of financial institutions to reinforce the national economy and to finance different economic projects in the Sultanate. Mithaq for Islamic Banking within Bank Muscat helped support this commercial partnership.
I think this is a fantastic project. I mean, if you think about it, we used to have produced water, which was a cost, a nuisance, and now we've turned it into an opportunity. This minimum MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding that has just been signed between SpaceX and Bauer, just provides a fantastic growth, employment, value creation opportunity to turn what was this water nuisance into an opportunity. So the NIMA production will be able to be used for the creation of this castor oil and all the products that you see here in the industry. But above all, also, the farming community will be able to provide a product which is durable, that has a long life, And therefore, it's a commodity that is robust, it's economic, and can create so much value. So it's fantastic. It really is turning the challenge into value creation.
The Sultanate, represented by the Public Authority for Investment Promotion and Export Development, or ITRA, participated in the 51st edition of the International Exhibition of Stone Design and Technology, Marmomac, in the city of Verona, Italy. The Sultanate participates with 9 Omani companies specializing in the manufacture and production of marble and stone. The participation comes within ITRA efforts in promoting Omani non-oil products through the development and increase of Omani exports of marble and stone to the Italian market and other global markets. The participation aims to find promising business opportunities and contract deals, as well as strengthen trade relations with the world of marble companies and to promote the Omani marble and stone sector. Omran, Oman's leading development company that creates authentic and memorable lifestyle destinations, announced that it is making available significant investment opportunities at Madinat Al Irfan, the country's biggest urban development, with the release of 10 major land plots. The convention auditorium and both 4-star Crown Plaza and 5-star JW Marriott hotels are also set to open next year. This move by Omran is part of the company's strategic efforts to make Madinat Al Irfan the country's new bespoke central business hub. Omran is actively encouraging new and existing businesses, especially in the fields of oil and gas, banking, aviation, logistics and other services, to see the potential of Madinat Al Irfan and Oman as a viable hub for their regional operations. Benefiting from the international expertise in the field of organization of activities and various international events was the focus of the International Association for Meetings and Conferences. The meeting, which was held in Muscat, witnessed the participation of more than 90 experts and specialists for the Mideast countries. A number of visual shows were presented during the meeting to shed light on the development of capabilities and touristic services in the member countries, as well as to acquaint the participants with the touristic potentials of the Sultanate and the availability of service facilities which enable the Sultanate to host different international conferences and meetings. His Excellency Syed Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Dhofar, received Kinwan Kim, commander of the Korean naval vessel. During the meeting, the two sides exchanged cordial conversations and matters of common concern between the two friendly countries. The price of Oman oil rose $1.97 from the price of yesterday, which was $43.26. The Dubai Mercantile Exchange said that Oman oil price November 2016 delivery reached $45.23. The average price of Oman oil October 2016 delivery has stabilized at $44.02, thus 62 cents per barrel higher than September 2016 delivery. Salem bin Said Al Wahibi won the position of chairmanship of Oman Football Association in the elections of the Board of Directors for the period 2016-2020. Meanwhile, Mohsen bin Hamad Al Masrouri, the representative of Jalan Club, won the position of First Deputy Chairman, and Dr. Jassim bin Mohammed Ash-Shekeli won the position of Second Deputy Chairman. 9 other members completing the Board of Directors of Oman Football Association were also selected. The Sultanate, represented by the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs, marked at the Theatre of Islamic Sciences College the Hijra anniversary of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. It witnessed a huge attendance from members of the society. The ceremony included a number of activities and a speech that highlighted the importance of this occasion in the Islamic history. It also included poetic sessions and chanting nasheeds. This occasion carries a number of Islamic values and lessons for the society. The event was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Ahmed bin Saud Al Siabi, Secretary General at the Office of the Sultanate's Grand Mufti. Elephants in Africa have suffered a catastrophic decline and face an uncertain future if something is not done urgently to protect them, a conservation group has warned. A recent survey, the Great Elephant Census, estimated that over 30% of savanna elephant populations have gone down due largely to poaching and loss of habitat, among other factors. Here's a report.
These shocking new figures appear to be consistent with a number of researchers and scientists who study elephants and are expected to be widely endorsed at the next conference being held in South Africa by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. Studies also show some African elephant herds are adapting to the deadly danger of poaching by moving out of risky areas and into protected areas.
What the Great Elephant Census has revealed is this catastrophic decline of 30% of all the populations that the census managed to survey in that time over the last 7 years. And it's not all the savanna populations, it doesn't include the forest elephants, but just the savanna populations. The picture is bad enough. And I think the situation in the forests is going to be likely even worse. So all in all, it just shows that elephants across the continent are in grave peril, and we all need to come together to save them.
Save the Elephants Conservation Group also works in Virunga National Park in eastern Congo, home to multiple armed groups competing for control of the region's vast mineral resources, and the elephants there stick very closely to rangers' posts. Some of the armed groups have been accused of killing elephants for their ivory tusks. The elephant's behavioral change may illustrate the effect of poaching and game hunting. Africa had 1.3 million elephants in the 1970s, but has only 500,000 today, according to wildlife experts.
So when we think about elephants, we have to think about them as an African asset, a continental asset for Africa. And what one nation does with its ivory stocks impacts the populations across Africa. When ivory reaches the demand markets of the world, you can't tell which savanna population that ivory came from. It's just ivory. And for that reason, if one of the nations that wants to sell ivory decides to sell ivory and manages to put that onto the market, that creates a smokescreen for an illegal trade to flourish across the whole of the rest of the continent. So you might have looked after your elephants well and sell that ivory. By doing that, you're dooming the elephants in all the less well-protected populations to a dramatic decline and local extinctions.
The elephant populations worst hit by poaching are in Tanzania, Gabon, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Mozambique, Republic of Congo, and Congo. Kenya has said it will push for the total ban on trade in ivory at the current 17th Convention meeting that is taking place in Johannesburg, South Africa, from September 24th to October the 5th.
And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate over the coasts of Sea of Oman, while on the rest of coast it will be southeasterly to southerly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate along the coasts of the Arabian Sea with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. Rest of the coast, it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Said Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Said discusses enhancing cooperation between the Sultanate and Italy when he received Her Excellency the Italian Minister of Defense. The Sultanate, before the International Atomic Energy Agency, stresses on its support for limiting the use of atomic energy to peaceful purposes. The Sultanate finances the deficit in the state's general budget until the end of July 2016 through a number of procedures. And the Sultanate studies the project of launching a special telecommunications satellite. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. And from all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.